Hello, hello, manifestors. Welcome to the Redesign Your Mind podcast. I'm your host, Tidra Dagri. I'm an author and master mindset strategist, and I work with women all over the country who have a desire to elevate their limited mindset so she can shift from a place of mediocrity, lack, and limitation to a place of success, love, abundance, and all things magical. If this sounds like something that you are interested in, trust me, girlfriend, you are in the right place. So stay tuned. Yay! Welcome everyone to the very first episode of the Redesign Your Mind podcast. You all do not understand how excited I am to be doing this right now. This is literally something that I have worked on, quote unquote, worked on, which means I haven't done anything, by the way, for well over a year. And it actually took me only a few hours to put this whole podcast together. But I have spent the last year psyching myself out, saying that it's going to be too hard, that I won't be able to do it, blah, 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 blah. You all know what it means to procrastinate when it comes to things that you really, really desire to do. So I'm happy to be here today, and I'm really excited that you are here listening. So before I get into today's topic, I really want you all to take the time to comment, rate this episode, and also let me know what it is that you guys would like to hear. Because while I do like to hear myself speak sometimes, I don't want to put out any fluff content that you all can't relate to. So please, I am not opposed to suggestions. Let me know what it is that you all want to hear, okay? So let me just share a little bit about me, because I cannot assume, like I normally do, that you know who I am and you found me via Instagram or something like that. So just in case you don't have a clue as to who Tidra Dagri is, I am a mindset strategist, and I self-developed my way out of depression about 4 years ago. I suffered from depression just about all of my life, and I was suicidal. I didn't want to live. I believed that I was cursed, and I have children to live for, right? So I finally made a decision that I was no longer going to be victim to this thing called depression, anxiety, and worry. And I did something about it. I legit could not afford a coach, a counselor, or anything like that. So I literally went on Amazon and ordered just about every self-development book that was recommended to me, because that is all that I could afford. I read book after book after book, and any free class or audio or video that I could get my hands on, I was listening to it, I was watching, and more importantly, I was implementing. And what's funny is that once I was able to get out of that stuck place, or that sunken place that I was in for so many years, I realized that that was my calling, that was my gift. It was to help other women do the same, to help other women believe in themselves, rid themselves of this limited way of thinking, this limiting belief system. It was time that I stood up and became a voice for those people who needed it the most. So that is why I'm here today, and that is what I do for a living, and that is really one of the things that brings me the most joy. So expect for this particular podcast to bring all things mindset elevation. So I'm going to be talking about self-development, number one, books. I love, love, love reading books. We're also going to be discussing a little bit the law of attraction, but from a Christian standpoint. Not to say that I'm going to be beating you all over the head, with my beliefs and things like that. No, but I am a Christian who believes in the law of attraction, and that's kind of rare. You either believe in God or Jesus, or you practice and believe in the law of attraction. It's never a marriage, right? So I am a Christian chick that also practices the law of attraction, because if you ask me, the law of attraction, the spiritual principles that are included in the law of attraction are stated in the Bible. So um, I'm not here to debate that issue, but I just wanted to point that out. I'm never one to try to convince people to believe what it is that I believe. I just want to make you think. That is my main mission. I want you to shift your perspective from the one that you have, which is usually a very limiting one, to one of open-mindedness. So those are the things that you can expect from me here at the Redesign Your Mind podcast. Now, on to today's topic. Okay, so I'm about to tell all my business. And, over the time that we will be sharing here during these podcasts, you will grow to understand that I am probably one of the most transparent people you will ever meet. So I was in the grocery store the other day, and let me go back a little bit. Recently, I prayed and asked God for more influence. I prayed and asked God to enlarge my territory. I prayed and asked God to use me more than He has ever used me before. Now, how many of you know that when you pray a similar prayer and you talk to God or you put it out in the universe, you can absolutely expect to be tested? You can expect that some things are going to pop off, break loose in your life that were totally out of left field. So I went through a point where my finances were anorexic. They were out to lunch, okay? And my bank account was overdrawn at one point, or very low, right? I didn't really have money to buy even toilet paper. I was struggling putting together change just to buy the cheapest toilet paper that I could find. I went from using the Charmin in the red packaging to going to Aldi and getting their 4 packs for like 50 cents or so. And even that was a struggle. 54 cents with tax was a struggle for me to pay for toilet paper. Of course you need toothpaste and, other toiletries, you need cleaning supplies, and all. That was a luxury. Okay. I had to go to Dollar Tree and get the little cheap, dish soap, because again, that was all that I could afford. And now that life is better, my finances are better. I went to the store the other day and I spent $64 in change. And I complained the whole the whole entire time. I was like, "Oh my God, I didn't even get anything, and I'm spending $64 on what?" And my friend was just standing behind me waiting to check out, and she was just laughing at me. And I'm complaining the entire time. Even on the way home, I was complaining. While I was in the aisles putting stuff in the basket, every time I put something new in the basket, I'm like, oh, my head into my hands, like, oh my God, this is going to be so much, right? And when I got home, I had to really sit down and have a come to Jesus meeting with myself and say, wait a minute. There was a time not that long ago that you didn't have the money to buy name brand toilet paper, right? And now God has blessed you to be able to buy this name brand toilet paper again. And you are sitting here complaining. There was a point in time that you didn't have this money to do this. Right? So we tend to ask for things and then we get those things, we manifest those things, and then we still complain. We still find reason to complain. So the whole point of me sharing that with you all is anytime you ask God for something and He blesses you with it, or if you believe in the universe and the universe supplies it, please don't take that time to complain, right? This is not the time to complain about something that you have been asking for, praying for, meditating on, believing for, and then you get it, and then you just complain. I am glad that I had the $64 to pay for the things that we needed, because there was a point in time not that long ago when we didn't. So it's just like asking, God, the universe, for more income. So say you want to earn $1 million a year in your business, right? And you get to that point where you are earning more and more money. You go to 4 figures a month, 5 figures, 6 figures, 7 figures a month. And then here comes Uncle Sam wanting his, 30% or whatever it is, right? And you're complaining. Oh my goodness, I got to give Uncle Sam, 25% of my million. I only have 750. Well, 750 is a lot more than the 30,000 that you used to make working at Walmart or working as an admin assistant somewhere, right? Thank God that you have the income in order to pay that much in taxes, right? So we have to shift our perspectives in real life. We have to take the time to really evaluate what is going on, especially when we find ourselves complaining. And I, kind of look back at that experience in the store the other day, and I complained from the time I got in that store to the time I got home. And I had to ask for forgiveness. I said, God, please forgive me for that. I don't know what is wrong with me. As a mindset strategist, I'm always telling my clients to really, really watch your words, because words create. Thoughts become things, right? Thoughts, we think thoughts and then we say those thoughts verbally using our words, and then they manifest into the physical realm, and we wonder, how in the heck did this happen? Why is this happening? Well, it's because you spoke it. So you could really go a little bit deeper with going back to my example, my little story of, having to pay $64 for a couple of bags of things at the store. What could happen is that, my finances revert back to where they were, where I was scraping up 54 cents to pay for that little cheapy pack of toilet paper. That is not at all what I want. So what's important is that I was able to check my own self. I was able to immediately see the lesson in that. And that was a lesson for me. Don't get so arrogant when God blesses you with finances or whatever it is that you're asking for. Don't get so arrogant that you become ungrateful all over again. Because what's that old saying? Just like he gave it, he can take it all away, right? We can really, really, I don't think that God takes anything away from us. I truly believe that we can talk ourselves out of a blessing, right? We can use our words and really, really talk ourselves out of that. Because when you're complaining, God wants you to be happy. And so if you're not happy with this $64, to pay for this stuff, then I can take that $64 away from you, right? If you're not happy with this money, I can make it go away, right? And so that is never, ever what we want. So whole point is, be the person that checks yourself. So what I want you to do, a little homework from here on out to forever and ever, amen. I want you to every single night to evaluate your day. And what I mean by that is breaking out your tablet, your journal, your phone, whatever it is that you want to use. And I want you to write down, first of all, things that you are grateful for. But then I also want you to check yourself. What did I say today that I shouldn't have said? Because right now in this moment, I need to take the time to ask forgiveness for complaining, for being ungrateful, for saying X, Y, and Z, because I don't want that energy to stay in the universe, because what we put out there is what always comes back to us. Don't get it twisted. So you want to take the time to, as I said, number one, show gratitude. What went well today? What can I give thanks for today? And then you have that check yourself moment where you say, I remember, when I said, or I complained about this coffee being too cold, or I complained about having to pay for this coffee, or I complained about how cold it is in the office. Whatever the case may be, take that time to write down those complaints, and then I want you to switch it up. Right? So if, let's use the example, it's really, really cold in the office or in the building that you're working in, right? So instead of complaining, take that complaint and make it into a statement of gratitude. Well, I am happy and grateful that we have air conditioning, and maybe tomorrow I can bring a blanket, a little space heater that I can put under my desk. I can wear an extra layer of clothes, but I am just grateful because I would rather be cold and in a position to warm myself up with layering versus not having any AC, because there are lots and lots of people who are living without that luxury. Does that make sense? Right? So that is what I want you to do. And I want you to get into the habit of doing that every single day and watch how your life improves for the better, and watch the things that start to come into your life, things that you don't even ask for, things that you don't even believe that you can afford to manifest at this point in time. Because the more gratitude that you put out there, that energy of gratitude is just going to attract more amazing, abundant things into your life. So I hope that this episode was able to help you. I hope that it was able to resonate with you. Thank you all so much for watching. Not watching. What am I talking about? Thank you all for, I'm not even going to edit that out. Thank you all for listening to the very first Redesign Your Mind podcast. I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Thanks again for tuning into today's episode of Redesign Your Mind podcast. Again, I am your host, Tidra Dagri. Make sure you connect with me over on Instagram at Mindset Makeover Mogul. Check out my website for the freebie library and all things coaching, mindset elevation, and me, TidraDagri.com. Lastly, make sure you head on over to Amazon.com and pick up your copy of my very first book, Meditation, The Brown Girl's Guide to Meditation. And stay tuned, because I will be releasing book 2 very, very, very soon. Thank you guys so much. I will talk to you in the next one.